Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. To my American and Australian, New Zealand, Canadian, English, Scottish, Welsh, Irish and Cornish audience. How you doing? What just happened to my camera then? I don't quite know, but let me make sure this ain't clicked off and gone the other way. I just heard a click for some reason, and I don't know why. Can you all see and hear me? Don't forget, sharing is caring. I am actually going to try and bring this up on my screen a second, if I can. Hang on. Carry on watching. And I'm not sure if I've shared this. Content. There we are. There we are. Let's tuck that out. Put that out. I'm looking at my other screen at the moment. I've just come out of the pub, had something to eat, and doing a million other things at the same time. Let me have a look. Paste. Faithful. Paste. And let's whack this straight out onto post. I'm putting this out on live now, the full English show. So there we go, people. We're out there, touch wood. You're all watching and seeing me. Let me come back onto that. Jock the lad, everyone in chat watching currently, and don't forget, when you watch out there on Rumble, if you're direct on TVs, etc., you won't see the true viewing figures. Last night was something like just over 500, but we need to get back to pre-censorship figures of 10,000 viewers, which wasn't unusual for the Rumble, Facebook, and various others. So if anyone, I'm not sure if I know anyone, I do, running our Facebook. We did have a reasonably large Facebook channel, but unfortunately the person running it died. So we need to start transmitting to that as well, hopefully. Cockney girl, well, West Ham United, how you doing out there? Andrew 108, how you doing out there? Sapper 69, Susan Riley. Don't forget all you single ladies out there. I'm still available. I'm still waiting for someone's hand in marriage. But because I keep aggravating the British government every single night, I never get out much. Right? And when I do, I'm always slipping into the show. Let me show you something. Everyone has asked for a repeat. They want to know what it was, just to make sure I'm putting it on properly. They wanted to know. I'm only doing this because it is a Friday night yet again. Right. So again, this is my COVID mask. Right? I only wear COVID masks. I don't wear what the government wanted to try. So don't forget, I mean, with this one, you at least you could eat with it on, right? And you could drink with it on. But when you're walking around Tesco's trying to tell people, if you're going to wear a mask, wear a proper mask if that's what you're trying to do, right? Which is scare people, right? Everyone keeps saying to me, put that mask back on. I like that mask. I've no doubt they will do it again to us. You've got to stop listening to government propaganda and only look at what we're doing, because at least we try and tell you the truth. And if I make a mistake and tell you something that is not true, I apologise and say I was wrong. And by the way, I've done that on the show before. Everyone should understand that. I met one guy at a seminar who said, you ranted at me for about an hour after I sent you this video. I said, all right. And he said, all the terrible things you said about me. I went, all right. I thought, here we go. Right. And he went, no, you know what I like? He said, 2 days later, you actually apologised. Not because of the content as such, but because you ranted without me having a right to reply. I said, yeah, but I didn't actually say who you was. So, but I do agree, you can't rant about people in particular unless it's Tony Blair or Gordon Brown or John Major or even the King of England. Right? They're all up for it anyway. Let me have a look. Juicy and Lucy. Oh yeah. Right. Let me get stuck into this. I did briefly tell you last night that we have received, very unusually, it normally takes about a year to 18 months to appeal to the Court of Appeal. But the other side, the respondents to our case for Runcorn and Hillsby, you know, that crooked election where 4 of us are standing up telling High Court judges it's corrupt and it's systemic. They don't want us to stand up and say that in court, in the High Court. And this one is going to be in Chester on the 3rd, 4th and 5th of November 2025, where I will be conducting the prosecution case against the establishment. Again, it's a real common law court. The judges will be listening to the evidence and making a decision. The appeal that the other side, the respondents, have put in, which is Sarah Pouchin and the returning officer, is to strike out the petition, which is pretty disgusting, really, considering a single elector can bring the petition. But they've managed. Don't ask me how, people. You go against the system, all sorts of strange things can happen. They have managed, instead of it being a year away or 18 months away, they have managed to get an expedited appeal in front of 3 judges in the High Court on the 16th of November. Right now, it looks like I will have to appear in person at the Royal Courts of Justice. I've done some checking. I need to make some inquiries to find out, but I will be defending you. I will be defending the people, right, against Sarah Pouchin MP, who is Reform UK, who obviously doesn't want a crooked election system reform because she's trying to get this struck out. What's she worried about? Or is she one of the people that possibly the fix was put in for? Right? That's what everyone should be looking at, because I am really struck by her being quite venomous in getting this petition struck out. And you'll notice some of the things that she's saying. I believe you're all being conned. So that said, I am very pleased to tell you, and I'm not sure if I said to you last night, again, listen, I do this all free of charge. I am a common lawyer. I am for you, the people, right? We have a action going into the European Convention for Human Rights. In other words, it's going to be a Strasbourg case. And what I wanted to do was show you briefly on the screen part of this judgment. There's many other parts of the judgment. I've got to go through it. But the judgment that was in our favour that got us the election petition trial, which I will be prosecuting in Runcorn and Hillsby at Chester Crown Court, I'm just going to show you something. Well, I briefly showed it last night, but I want people to understand what they're saying. Let me see if I can get back to this. Hopefully, I can bring it up on my screen. Where are we going to go to? Here it is, right? And then I'm going to go back and try and show you something else, which is, I think I've got to do the entire screen, right? So let me hit that one, put that one on there. You're going to see the wrong type of screen coming up. It's only because I've got the old screen. And it is paragraph 12. There's much more of it, but Mr. Moore argues that he is entitled to join the first and second respondent via common law principles. Right, so common law principles, just to make sure you're all aware of this, if I can find any of my books. This particular one is Simon on Elections. This book is 300 years old, and it is a common law book. And they're trying to say that I showed no evidence in the trial of what we was actually talking about, right? So let me just go to my marked page, and I will show you exactly what I said. There are principal causes of avoiding an election, of all of which are the corollaries following from the great principle that elections should be free. Upon the preservation of this vital principle, not only prosperity but very existence of the state as a free state depends. The violation of this in the earliest days of representation called forth spirited though feeble voice of the people. Elections should be free, and again, that is littered with that within this book. And this book is a very old, original book, calf leather, etc. Right. So they said, and anyone at that court will understand, right, that I actually got that out and read it out. And the judge asked me what was the book and what were the paragraphs in the book, and I told him. Does everyone remember that? Put it out in the chat if you remember that, if you was there, right? So again, what they say is the specific complaints made against the first respondent relate to the alleged non-delivery of election communication leaflets. Against the Cheshire Constabulary, Mr. Moore raises allegations of harassment and failure to investigate election interference. Be that as it may, that's a very special term. What they're saying is that may be your allegation. There is simply no statutory basis for first and second respondents to be respondents in an election petition. Now, without me going through any further information on this, what I'm going to try and do is go back to my other one. Hopefully, I'm not sharing this as I try and find it. I'm going to show you something else that's really important. And let's hope I can find it. Let's have a look and see if I can see this. I've got to try and find this here. There it is. All right. I'm not sure if I can actually read this out. Preferably, I'll see if I can do it a different way. Hang on a minute. So what we're doing now is showing you, or I'm going to show you where it actually says it. And again, this is, I'm going to try and bring this up. Now, this is, and I don't work from Grok, just to make sure you're clear of that, right? But I brought it up as a simple question to Grok. And this is what come up. I've also spoke to 2 solicitors and a lawyer that said they've opened the gate to Strasbourg, right? And one of the things that I need to do is show you this, right? And then I'll talk you through it. So even if they strike out the petition, my opinion, we've still won, because we have got a Strasbourg case from that judgment, and they can't erase that judgment, right? So just to make sure everyone's understanding what I'm saying, I'm going to show you this. Touch wood, you can see it, right? Make sure there's nothing skullduggerous on my screen, right? So the question I asked was, what are the articles on freedom of election and election interference and denial of justice and a trial remedy, European Convention for Human Rights? I don't want to go down that path. But what they've done is they've gone in detail and said what they are. Now, this is doing is confirming what the solicitor and the barrister said to me, right? That they've opened the gates, right? So I'm going to go to this key table of key articles, right? Freedom of election, Article 3, Protocol 1. That was already in my, that's already in our petition. Hold free, fair elections at reasonable intervals and ensure free expression via secret ballot, right? Election interference, Article 3, Protocol 1, Article 10 and Article 18. Positive duty to prevent, investigate undue influence, right, and proportionality in restrictions, right? Bearing in mind that Royal Mail didn't deliver 44,600 of our leaflets to the electorate, right? In fact, we now know that we believe that 2 senior officials in the Royal Mail have been suspended because of what they've done. Denial of justice, Article 6, Section 1. or point one, a fair public hearing by independent tribunal, no flagrant procedural failures, and right to a remedy or trial, Article 13, Article 6, right? Effective national remedy for violations, fair trial with legal aid if needed. There is no legal aid for anyone, a single electorate, to bring before the courts an election petition. In other words, if you get it wrong, you get bankrupted, right? That goes against the rights of justice, reason and right, etc. Is a common law right to a free election, and the judges were saying there is no such thing, right? I could have appealed all of that. I chose not to because we need to concentrate on the trial, which is exactly what we're going to be doing, right? And I believe if this goes before an appeal court, the appeal court will say, actually, there is a common law right to free elections, and it is governed by the first statute of Westminster of 1275, chapter 5, and it is governed by the Glorious Revolution, including the Declaration of Reasons, the Declaration of Rights, the Bill of Rights, which is a trilogy, the Act of Settlement of 1701, and again, the judgment Ashby versus White, 1703, right? So if anyone says there is no common law right to this, they are lying, right? Or they are ignorant, or they are unlearned. Two High Court judges obviously didn't know the law on that. But our objective is to get to this election petition, right? Because that's where we present. And what they don't want is me presenting your case to two High Court judges to tell them, under the Representation of the People Act 1983, count agents are put there for a purpose, to be the eyes and ears of the senior courts. And that is exactly what we're doing, presenting evidence, witness statements, and evidence in chief to say that the returning officer and the counters employed by the council cheated, and therefore there was not a true return. And the will and the opinion of the people was not exercised. And therefore there should either be a new election or both, a recount, a single ballot recount, not a bundle recount. That is a complete farce, because that is the fraud. And I've seen it on a number of occasions. It just so happens they picked on the wrong person who was standing in the election as a candidate. Did everyone just understand what I said? Do you all understand that we now have a case which should be going in Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday to the European Convention on Human Rights, where we are challenging the British government on the fact that the Representation of the People's Act 1983 is incompatible with the human rights laws. Because you are not getting what you should get. So you are not getting all of these things that the police, the Royal Mail, and indeed now two judges are expressing that they have no power. Therefore, the law itself, the statute, goes against human rights laws, and therefore it needs to be changed. It is incompatible. Just to make sure you're aware of that. And that's going to be going in Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday. So again, there's two lots of arguments are happening. 16th of October, I did send an email yesterday and said, I'll be on a yacht on the 16th of October. They've come back and said, it's the 16th of October. And you need to set what your arguments are. That's it, right? So again, if it is found during the trial, so we win the trial, if they order a individual ballot recount, we've won. If that is the case, and we get one more vote, just one more vote, then the count was wrong, and we will be suing the returning officer personally and the council personally, and potentially, because what she's now done, Sarah Palchin personally, right? Because there was no reason why Sarah Palchin should have stuck her nose into this, apart from the fact that I now believe that maybe she's one of the ones who cheated, right? Because this is a crooked election. If that is the case, we'll be taking that forward as a second one. So from one person, a normal Englishman, everyday Englishman, a normal, everyday working class person that understands the law, standing up against the crooked system. And the only person that can do that other than me is a single elector. So when you put your vote in and you use your vote, you have the right as a single person to bring an election petition, right? You can't, if you don't vote, you can't do it, right? So anyone who says you don't vote, you're throwing away your right, not only to vote, which the working class of this country fought and died for, including a baby being bayoneted by the British, Peterloo, in 1819 at Petersfield, just outside Manchester, where 70,000 of us stood up because we wanted to vote, right? And now you've got all these working class people saying, no, don't vote, don't vote, don't vote, right? And 19 of us was put to the sword, literally, by a cavalry charge by the British Army. Just think about that. A baby, little baby, was bayoneted, right? And people want to say, I don't want to vote. It's disgusting. But when you do vote, you have the right to bring an election petition. Everyone got that? So from small acorns, which is what we're doing at the moment, just one person standing up. And I don't do it on my own. It is not an I. It is a team, and you are that team. You are possibly one of the greatest audiences. Some of you have been with me for 15 years, right? And I respect every one of you. I love every one of you. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep promoting the show. They've took us down on every platform. They took us down on Facebook. They took us down on Twitter. They took us down on YouTube, right? One of my videos was going seriously viral with 1.5 million views. I used to get regular views, 500,000 people watching on Facebook, right? Why did they take me down? Because I told you the truth, right? The whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God, right? This is a Christian nation. Take it back from the atheists and take it back from these people that believe that we should have no borders, that are using immigrants as a weapon against England, right? We will take the country back, but you have to become literally the people that push this forward. So every single one of you, I'm asking you now, send out this video, forward it to your friends, click on it and send it out and just say, how comes one person can cause all of these problems for the returning officer? Well, it's the common law. DD is okay. What's that saying? DD is it okay to share on? You can share anywhere. Share on anywhere. That was the Guinness coming back. I'm dying for another pint of Guinness. It's only been another 30 minutes. If that pub shuts, right, that's it. Right, I can't go and get a beer. I'm going to start getting them to shut at 10:30 or something. We'll get her in the end. DD, is it okay to share on Odyssey? Yeah. Smet, I do not consent is still a vote, so you can still bring a petition. Yeah, correct. Smet, I do not consent is still a vote, so you can still bring a petition. As long as you use your ballot in that election, you can bring a case. Let me have a look on here. Any questions from the audience before I launch into another couple of things? Bobby T, you are very special, Graham. I'm not special at all. I'm just a normal working class person. I'm just one of you, except I have a like for English law, the Constitution of England, and express it and teach it to the people, because you were supposed to be taught that in school and you're not being taught it in school. You have constitutional rights. The English have rights. The British have rules. What supersedes a rule? A right. Let me have a look. Sue Ellen, good evening. Green Baker. Everyone out there rocking and rolling. Juicy and Lucy, get the pub to deliver you to your door. Day, laugh out loud. I might do. I should give them a shout, shouldn't I? Here, I'll have a pint of Guinness and give us a knock on the front door, right, and put it on my tab. If they're listening in a pub like they was being slippery the other day, she'll be knocking on my door in a minute with a pint of Guinness, and then I'll go, here, look, delivery. I wonder if they charge for deliveries. Paul Seffins, thank you. Right, let me have a look on there. Rumble Ray 80. Do you have to be on the electoral register to vote? Right, so I've heard this before. Technically, you don't, right? Because any freeholder, or if you pay over a certain amount in rent, you are automatically entitled to a vote, right? So their register system is a load of bullshit. You could just walk in and say, I want my vote delivered to that address, bang, right? I want, but I don't want to be part of your electoral system. I just want my vote, full stop. Technically, they can't turn you away. If they do, they can cause themselves a lot of problems. The last time I voted, and they only provided pencils. Imagine what they did to my vote. Bring a pen to vote. Yeah, no, Maria Spoon. I always take my own black pen. Globalists will never allow schools to teach patriotism, constitution by woke teachers. No, I agree. Constitutional by the woke teachers. I do believe that, and again, that's why they're taking control of the education system. They've done that a long time ago. The slow march through the institutions started with the universities. Why is it the universities? Because everything else spans out from the universities. That is why Oxford, Cambridge, and especially the London School of Economics is such a bad thing. You wouldn't want that. Section 91 of Representation of People and 19 says you're allowed to free delivery campaign material. Exactly that. And that is why Royal Mail are brought into this petition. So just to make sure everyone gets that, where did that come up? So I'm going to pin that one because that is a very good comment, right? Section 91 of Representation of the People's Act 1983 says you're allowed a free delivery of campaign material, right? And the Royal Mail did not refuse it. It now turns out that they found our leaflets in the Royal Mail depot, and they decided to hide them and not deliver them. Apart from the fact they cost us £800, and it had a political message on it. That is highly illegal. And I need that one. Let's see if I can bring that up. Oh, I need to put that on there because I need to copy it. I bet it won't let me copy it. Copy message. I'm going to take that somewhere else. I'm going to put that. This is important, by the way, because I need to remind them when I put in the case against the Royal Mail why it was so important. And that is one of the reasons, because it actually states that they are a party to what's going on. Let me see if there's anyone else coming up there. Let's have a quick look. Let's see if I can see anything else. And don't forget, anyone, this is going to be really important. I'm going to show this out there, but let me just see what this says. Normalise expulsion and exile though for those even born here. British birth shouldn't be a loophole for being expelled, says Mayor Tusi. Reading Gabby Cabby and Mayor Tusi. This is, let's have a quick look. Short title, enactments relating to natural born British subjects. There you go. 7 was natural home, natural born, and denizens of the kingdoms. Section 3. I don't know what that's part of, but I'll have a look at that in a little bit. What I do want to show you is where I went and showed you something else earlier. Let me see where it is. Not on that one. Here, calendar of events. So I want you all to know that this one is really important. Let me take that off again. And I'm going to share this calendar of events. Don't forget, I am doing a seminar in Leigh-on-Sea in Essex. Right, upcoming events. You can go and get that from our website. I need as many people to share that link as possible. English Constitutional and Common Law Seminar, Leigh-on-Sea, on the 28th of September. It is a Sunday. The event starts at 1:30 p.m. Try and get there for 1:30. And it will finish about 6 approximately. So I've got plenty of time to have a chat with people. There's a questions and answers session. I'll be talking about many of the subjects from English legal history, the common law and the Constitution. I'll be showing you our Constitution, that it is in black and white, it is written, it is in part codified, and I will explain everything to you, and then you will all understand that the majority of our laws come from the English, not the British. And again, it is at, let's see if I've got the actual thing on there. Let me go. So I'm showing you that in a moment. I don't want to click on this and it asks me to do something strange. Cafdimar, wherever that is, right? And it tells you exactly where it is, which is, it's not far from Epping and around that area. So I will be up there. Let me just make sure I'll come off of that a second. Stop sharing. And I will put that out in our chat for everyone to go and see it. There you go. So Juicy and Lucy are out there. Everyone is watching and listening. Make sure you share this to everyone. We need as many people to turn up there as possible. You can pay on the door, which is a tenner. You can buy it online. The tickets are online as well. You can buy the tickets online. There's quite a few people buying tickets for it already. Listen, come and have a listen, right? And we've got to cover the costs of me getting all the way from Devon back up to there, through London, around the other side. I'll be staying in the evening and coming back. But we want as many donations as well as possible, because we can't, we're doing everything in the background, and these people don't pay me, right? So they don't allow me to claim costs. I can't put in our elected fee, and our elected fee is £1,888 an hour. So just to make sure you're all aware of this, my fee for acting for you is £1,888 per hour. And the reason it is set at that, it was elected by our membership, is to highlight the fact that 1,888 working class people died in police custody in England and Wales without any comeback to them whatsoever. In other words, they murdered 1,888 of us in police custody, not in prison, right? Direct police custody, either through suffocation or any other means. They was in custody. 1,888 working class people have died, and none of them police officers have faced a consequence for torture, right? Criminal Justice Act 1988, Section 134, torture. Enacted in 1988 on the tricentenary of the English Bill of Rights. We are protected from torture, yet the police can do exactly what they want, right? And no one's standing up for us. The only person doing it is me and us, right? That's it. Remember the 93-year-old that was tasered in a wheelchair. He had one leg and dementia. He was tasered, he was battened, and he was pepper sprayed and died from his injuries. And the police officers, all they got, they went to court on common assault charges. That was all, right? And we was the only people really covering it. When I say covering it, we was at the court. Nathan Dunning, and people must realise that British solicitors and British barristers are not on your side. They are not for you or with you, right? the whole thing is a charade. You live in a communist country. It's been taken over by the Fabian Society. So we are now coming up to 1 hour. Any questions? Do you all know that you need to get that out there and get this promoted? So next Sunday, not this Sunday, next Sunday, I will be in Essex doing a seminar telling you what the English Constitution says, states, etc. I'll be showing you the books, not reading from books. That's not the we're not doing. What I do is empower you to understand that you do have a constitution, and you are being lied to. The same people that said to you that the COVID jab is safe and effective, even though that millions of people have died from it. Safe and effective, i.e. it stops transmission, when they actually knew that it didn't. It was a load of bollocks from start to finish. You actually got a bio jab stuck in your arm. Many people now have got turbo cancer. Many people have had strokes who had the jab. Many people, again, all they done was transposed the flu, stopped all the flu deaths, roughly 30,000 every winter, right? And then said it's COVID, it's COVID, it's COVID. They lie to you, and the same people telling you them lies, the same people responsible for the lockdowns, which was unconstitutional and illegal, very same people are telling you you haven't got a constitution and that you are British. British is a legal fiction. It was created by the British Nationality Act 1948, 3 years after the Second World War. We lost the Second World War. They're lying to you. You're living in a communist nation, and it's about time we took this country back. That's it. Any other questions? Yep, no, plenty of people. I didn't have the jab. I wouldn't have the jab. I'm a pure blood. It's the equivalent of AIDS if you did have it. Not a good thing. It is not very good at all. I know many people who have died from strokes, heart attacks, pericarditis, myocarditis, all sorts. Literally, if anyone's still having jabs now, they are looking at turbo cancers. And when I say turbo cancer, I'm talking about stage 1 to 4. I mean, 4 meaning you're going to die, right, in weeks. Right? By the time you become ill, to think there's something wrong with me, I need to go and see a doctor. By the time you've got to the doctor and got a doctor's appointment, you're at stage 4. You're dead. If that's what they mean by turbo cancers. Let me have a quick look. Susan, well said, DD. Susan Riley, well done. Thank you. To all you wonderful people out there. I had one Pfizer jab. Well, at least you only had one. Your body's got half a chance with its immune system of getting rid of it. But you can actually get rid of the spike protein, and there's plenty of ways of doing it. And don't forget, you've obviously got ivermectin. If you want any ivermectin, I've got to get around to sending it all out. But ivermectin, if you want ivermectin, you know how much it is. It's £15 a strip. You need to send me an email to graham.moore, MOORE, at protonmail.com, right? You put how many strips you want, minimum of 6, £15 a strip. Put your name and address and postcode, and I'll just send it out to you. And then you send me the money, and we'll put that up. So if you want ivermectin, I have got some here. Some's just come in, so I need to be sending that out to people. Nathan Dunning, bioweapon. It was a bioweapon. Ivermectin, bearing in mind, received a Nobel Prize for medicine. Discovering it is literally one of the best medicines out there. So is DMSO. DMSO can reverse stroke damage. I'll still take DMSO. I've still got it over there. I use it on my elbow and the back of my heels when I start walking around and doing all sorts of things, because it is really good, and it can kill cancer. All my kids have never had a vaccine of any kind. 29, 19, 18. We do live in a communist state. No, that's it. You just got to stand up to the state and say, I'm not having it. Pure bloods are in high demand. Why I'm not in high demand, I don't know. Listen, pure bloods are in high demand. That's it. Good night. God bless. and I will see you all tomorrow. Oh no, I won't. I will see you on Monday evening, and I'll tell you how the cases come in and what's going on. And I'm going to be under the cosh with trying to sort it all out, but I will get there. That's it. Good night. God bless, and I will see you soon. Monday night, 8 p.m. live.